Have you ever felt like you could get way more done if you would just stop procrastinating, but you don't know how to? Well, you've come to the right place, girl, because in this episode today, we're going to talk all about how to overcome laziness and procrastination. My biggest arch enemies, and probably yours too, right? Welcome, my ladies and femmes, to episode 4 of the Pink and Powerful podcast. Let's talk about why you procrastinate, because I feel like the first step to overcoming something is figuring out, well, first, it's admitting that you do it, but second, it's figuring out why you do it. So, I'm going to list a couple common causes of procrastination. The first reason could be simply just bad habits. And I don't think we realize sometimes how powerful habits really are. Listen to this. In the book, The Power of Habits, they talk about this man who had, I believe it was dementia. He would walk to and from work every day, but eventually I think he stopped working, but he would still leave the house to go to work and come back the same route. So he didn't know why he was leaving. Like, he couldn't remember why he was leaving, but he had that habit of walking the same route to work and back to home every day. Like, he had that habit so built in his brain that even though he couldn't remember why he was leaving or why he was doing what he was doing, he still would continue to do the habit. That's how powerful habits are. Even people with memory loss issues can have habits built in their brain so strongly. So our habits can really run our lives. Like, have you ever done something, like, let's say you pick up your phone and you just open Instagram and you don't even realize you're doing it, but it's just like such a habit that you have built in you that you're like, wait, how did I get on Instagram? It's like sometimes you just do them so they're so second nature, and it's like you do them so unconsciously because they're that deeply ingrained in you. So we're going to talk about that more later, but the next thing is fear of failing. Who has been scared to fail? Raise your hand. Girl, is your hand raised? Because I feel like pretty much everybody has experienced that. And if you're scared to fail, or you're scared of criticism, or you're just having like anxiety about something that you're trying to accomplish, chances are you might procrastinate more on it, because that's human nature. When you're scared of something, you're typically going to shy away from doing it. You're not really gonna be eager to get it done or run towards it. It's like if there's a fire, you're gonna run away from the fire. You know what I'm saying? Well, reasonably so. I hope you don't run into any fires, girl. Please don't do that. But anyways, yeah, sometimes we can get so scared of our own success. And I think it could just be really overwhelming sometimes to think about like having a lot of money or having a lot of fame or whatever success means to you. I think sometimes it can be really overwhelming because you have all these fears about what could happen when you get there. Or if things are just moving really slow for you and you feel like you're not seeing progress, then yeah, you're probably gonna be less likely to be motivated or to take action. You're just gonna feel like, what's the point? At least that's how I felt whenever I've been scared to fail. I'm like, what's the point? If it's not gonna work out, then why am I even gonna do this thing? So fear of failure can be a huge one. The third thing is having no plan. Have you ever heard that saying, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail? Oh, it's true. Deep but true. If you're anything like me, I thrive when there's organization. And I don't know, I feel like pretty much every human does. I know there's some people that are like, oh, I thrive in chaos, or like I really work well in chaotic environments. And I'm like, I don't know if I believe you. But yeah, having no plan obviously can be really discouraging because you're like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm just winging this. And then you can get like imposter syndrome. So that's another thing. So let's talk about how to overcome these things. First one, when it comes to bad habits, of course we have to break those bad habits, right? Everything that I've researched about habit building, the biggest key to breaking a bad habit is replacing the bad habit with something else. So let's say, for example, you scroll on your phone every night before bed. If you intend to stop doing that, you're going to be so much less likely to be able to actually follow through and stop if you don't replace it with something else. Like if you instead replace it with reading, replace it with writing, replace it with some skincare, it's going to help so much more, because the urge is still going to be there. The urge is still going to be there to scroll, especially with something so addicting like your phone. if you don't have something else to replace it, you're gonna be more likely to give into the urge to doing it, or you're just gonna be bored. So you're gonna be like, I have nothing else to do. Why am I not on my phone? Like, I'm just gonna get on my phone to entertain myself. But if you're doing something else, it's gonna really help. They say it takes 21 days to build a habit. I don't know if that's necessarily true for everybody, because girl, sometimes I've built up habits and I've gotten on like a 50-day streak and then I had a setback, which I guess maybe that doesn't mean that the habit wasn't built, but also don't be hard on yourself if you do have a setback, because I think they're really common when you're trying to build a new habit. It can be really difficult because, like I was saying earlier, habits get really, really deeply ingrained. And to undo them, you have to give yourself some time and patience. So don't be discouraged if you're not able to build it in a day, a week, a month, even a few months. Just give yourself some time, give yourself some grace, and give yourself some love, man. Because I used to not give myself love. Whenever I would fall off, I would be like, you're a fucking failure. So don't talk to yourself like that. Talk to yourself with love. That is one thing I've really learned. That will help you so much when you're trying to break a bad habit. And I think actually I would rather reframe that to build a good habit, because it's better to focus on what you're trying to achieve rather than focus on the negative. It's better to focus on the positive, like I'm trying to build a good habit, rather than saying I'm trying to break a bad habit. Because like I just said, you got to replace it with another habit. So the next one, fear of failure. I think there's actually a lot of things that can help you believe in yourself. First of all, just taking the action. I know that sometimes we want to see the success first before we take the action, which is like when I say that out loud, it sounds so silly. Like, why are we like this? Like, why are humans like this? But in this day and age, with these damn phones and these damn kids, this day and age, instant gratification is everywhere. You can go on your phone and order food and it's at your doorstep. Like, people before our generation, they could not do that. They had to like physically go outside, get in their car, drive to the restaurant, order the food, or drive to the store, get the food, cook it. Like, whoa, imagine that, right? We're so used to just clicking a button and there you go, you have food. And even before, if you go way back, like people had to go out and hunt and gather. So we've really, really broken down the barriers of having to work for something. Like literally something as simple as a meal. We have really, really broken down all of that, putting in energy into doing things, and things are just so easy to us now. We post something on social media and we instantly get a bunch of likes, or like if we don't instantly get a bunch of likes, then we're like, what the fuck? I must not be good enough because I didn't get enough likes. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. Delayed gratification is very, very underrated nowadays, because with delayed gratification comes real reward, true reward. And you can't have delayed gratification unless you take the action first. I don't know if you've ever heard of the marshmallow test, where it was a study where they told kids, hey, if you want this marshmallow now, you can have it. But if you wait, then you can have 2 marshmallows. And the kids that did wait and didn't just give in to the urge right away, they followed them later in life. They were more successful than the kids that just ate the 1 marshmallow right away. They were more successful in all aspects of their life, like work, relationships, etc. So that just proves that delayed gratification is so important. And it might be difficult at first to be patient and just wait, but it will be worth it. In order to achieve something, you have to take action first. You can't just expect to blow up on YouTube if you don't first film a video, edit it, post it, research for the next video. Like, if you don't put in the work to do all that, then you're not going to get the success that you want. How could you possibly? Like, if you don't ever post on YouTube, then you're never going to blow up. Like, that just significantly reduces your chances. Then you have no chance at all. So you can apply that to your own goal. I know not everybody wants to like blow up on YouTube. I just want to use that as an example, but take the action first, and slowly you will start believing in yourself. After you've taken action so many times, you're going to start to feel like a pro, because I forget how long they say it takes to become a pro at something. It's like 600 days, or I don't know, I'm probably so far off, but they say it takes like a really long time to become a pro. But when you're a pro at something, you're way more likely to believe in yourself than when you're just starting out. And the only way to become a pro is to take the action and do the steps that you have. The next thing is overcoming the root of why you're scared to fail. Is it because you've failed before in the past? Well, if that's the case, think about all the people that have failed before. Walt Disney was fired from his job because they said he wasn't creative enough. Oprah Winfrey, they tried to tell her that she wasn't fit for TV. There's a man that climbed Mount Everest with no legs. The man had no legs and he climbed Mount Everest. There's so many people, there's so many stories of people failing again and again and again, but they didn't give up. They stuck with it. And then what happened? They succeeded. It could literally take 10, 15, 20 years. I was watching a show on Netflix about this woman who she was like Oprah. She really wanted her own TV show and she was working for years. And it showed like her getting rejected, her having to grind, and it showed her having to do the jobs where she was like running and getting coffee for the people that did have their own shows when she wanted to be that person that had their own show. It showed her struggling. It showed her feeling like, I want to give up. I don't know if this is right for me. And then it was like 10 years later in the show, she had her own show. 10 years later. So sometimes things just take time. And just because you failed before, just because you've been told no 500 times, the 501st time could be a yes. And 500 is a big number. I'm not saying it's going to be 500, but you know what I'm saying? Like you could be told no so many times, but the next time could be a yes. With my first ever clothing brand that I worked with, I asked them the first time, like I really wanted to work with them. And they were like, well, maybe when you grow more. They told me no. I grew a little bit more on social media. I asked them again, I really want to work with you. I've grown a little bit more. How about now? They still said no. So I waited. I worked. I grew more. And the third time I asked them, it was a yes. So you have to remember that rejection is just temporary. That's it. It's just temporary thing. When you have a dream or a goal and you're getting rejected, don't take that like that's a sign that you should quit, because it's not. It's a normal part of the process. The next one, having no plan. Let's talk about that, how to overcome that. Well, I think there's only one way, and it's probably pretty obvious. Having a planner. Writing down a plan. There you go. Easy fix for that one. I mean, it's not exactly easy. Like, it's easy to write down a plan, but the hard part is actually sticking with it. So it's not enough to just write it down. You have to actually stick with it too and have discipline. And if you catch yourself during the day falling off of your plan, try to track when that is and pinpoint those moments so that you can build a plan for the plan so that you can try to figure out how to not do that. Like, let's say at 2:00 you start to feel sluggish and you start to go to your couch. Your couch is like your lazy spot where you just lay down, watch Netflix. You don't really get much done when you go to the couch. If you notice around 2 p.m. every day is when that starts happening, then the next day at 2 p.m. you could be like, I am not going to the couch. I am going outside for a walk, because if I go to the couch, it's going to suck me in and I'm going to fall completely off track from my plan. So it's like little moments like that where you can make tweaks and changes so that you can stick with your plan. These other things I believe will also help with procrastination and laziness. Journaling is so underrated, because sometimes you can be procrastinating and feel lazy because you just have all these things clogged up in your brain and you just need to get them out on a piece of paper, because paper is more patient than people. If you sit down, journal for like 5, 10, 15 minutes, 15 minutes I think is probably a good amount, but maybe you just need 5, and you just have a brain dump. Like, you just write down all your thoughts, get everything out. It's like a fresh, clean slate for your brain for the rest of the day. And then you don't have those things clogging up your brain power for the work that you need to do. So I highly recommend journaling, and I highly recommend when you journal, also give yourself a pep talk. I would say I like to write myself love letters. I know that might be cheesy, but whatever. I love it. It's really helpful for me, and I think it could be helpful for you. Just like write yourself a really sweet letter that you would write to like a best friend about how amazing you are, all the things you love about yourself, all the great things about you. And that will also improve with what we were saying earlier about not believe in yourself, the fear of failure, it's going to help you overcome that too. Next is the Pomodoro method. I don't know if you ever heard of this method, but it's basically when you set a timer for the amount of work that you're going to do, and then you set a timer for the amount of rest you're going to take. And I don't know what the exact interval is for this specific method, but what I like to do is, let's say I work for an hour and then I'll take like a 15-minute break at the most, and then I set a timer for the next hour. Or if you don't have that much of a capacity to work for that long, you could start with 20-minute work intervals and then take like a 10-minute break in between. But always set a timer, because when you have a timer on, you're less likely to get distracted, because God, there are so many distractions in this age. And when you don't have a timer set, you could be like, oh, I want to get this thing done, and oh wait, I will also want to go and scroll over to this task, and also I'm going to check my email. Oh wait, I got a text. What's the text say? And you're just going to be all over the place. But when you sit down, you're like, okay, 20 minutes, I'm going to edit this video. That's it. I'm not checking my email, not checking my phone, nothing else. You will get it done way more efficiently. Another thing that I feel like you might not have expected me to say, but it's meditation. Meditation has been studied very heavily, and there's science that proves that meditation helps with focus, it helps with creativity, it helps with anxiety and depression. These are all things that can also factor into procrastination, because when you're feeling anxious, you're not feeling creative, you have like a creative block, when you just feel like you can't focus, like your brain is all over the place, you're more likely to feel lazy and not get things done. I highly recommend meditation. The last thing is realizing the cost of procrastination. The cost of procrastination is the life you could have lived. Have you ever heard that quote? That is my favorite quote, one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's true. Every single decision you make has a consequence. If you make the choice every day to eat a bag of chips for lunch, and that's it, the consequence is going to be feeling sluggish, not having that much energy, possibly gaining weight, possibly breaking out, etc. If you make the choice every single day to eat, let's say, a chicken salad for lunch, the consequence is going to be you have more energy, you feel more confident, you get more work done because you have more energy. It could help you lose weight or build more muscle because you're getting protein. Every single decision that you make has the same exact pattern. Like, you can either do this and then this will happen, or you can either do this and then this will happen. Or maybe there's a third or fourth choice, but you know what I'm saying. Every choice has a reaction. Every action has a reaction. When it comes to making a decision, generally speaking, you are so fucking powerful. I think sometimes we really underestimate our power, and we think that we don't have as much willpower. It can feel so easy sometimes to feel like out of control, like you don't have a choice in your life. But once again, generally speaking, you do. You can accomplish anything that you fucking want if you make the choice again and again and again that aligns with the consequence that you want. You will get what you want. You will. It might take some time, patience, but it will happen. If you want to get healthier and you make the decision every day to eat nutritious food, go to the gym, move your body, you're going to get healthier. There's no way around it. Like, that's what's going to happen. If you do the opposite, then you're not going to get healthier. You're not going to reach your goal. That's just the way it works. Don't think for a second that you can't have what you want. So if you're struggling with procrastination and feeling lazy, I want you to remember that. I want you to remember that you're capable and powerful and you can achieve what you want. And this is just a little bonus tip. Don't ever call yourself lazy. Don't ever be like, I'm just a lazy person. I'm so lazy. I can't do that because I'm lazy. I've heard that so many times. So many people, either from like clients, my personal training clients, or just from other people. I've heard people say, I can't do that because I'm lazy. No, you're fucking not. You are not a lazy person. Lazy is a feeling. Laziness, you can feel lazy. That doesn't mean you are lazy. Okay? You can build discipline. Completely remove that sentence from your vocabulary. Don't ever say, I am lazy. I am a lazy person. Don't ever say that. You can say, I'm feeling lazy. That's more accurate to what it is. It's temporary. And you can overcome that feeling. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. When you really want something, you're either going to find a way or you're going to find an excuse. And that's it. If you're using being lazy as an excuse, you're not going to reach your goals. And that's the reality of it. And you have to face that reality. If you want something bad enough, you're going to make it happen. There's no way around it. There's no excuse. There is literally no excuse. You will get it done. And especially not the excuse of just like, I don't feel like it, or I'm just going to put it off. No. Whether you feel like it or not, you can still get it done while not feeling like doing it. You could say, I don't feel like going to the gym today, but you still go to the gym anyways. So don't get caught up in that. Yes, take time for self-care. I'm not saying to never rest. I'm not saying to never take time for yourself. Totally different from what I'm saying. Have the time and space for that as well, but don't give into temporary feelings when you know what's on the other side of giving into those feelings. What's on the other side of giving into those feelings is failure. And you're not a failure. You're a fucking winner. You're fucking successful. You have drive, you have work ethic, you have ambition, or else you would not be listening to this podcast right now. You would not be listening to this episode. You wouldn't care. But you do care. I know you care. So go get what you fucking want. You can overcome laziness and procrastination. You can overcome anything. Anything. Don't forget to own your motherfucking power. Okay? Go listen to the last few episodes if you haven't yet. I'll see you in the next episode, girl.